Do you have an Amazon account, but you don't know how to find products? Well, one of the best tools that a lot of Amazon users use is Seller AMP. Seller AMP is a tool that features multiple tools within the same product, so that way you can do your research across different platforms with different types of tools, such as Smart Search, where you could use Seller AMP in association with any other web page to be able to find that product on Amazon. And if there is no product on Amazon, well, you're going to get another product. So what is Seller AMP? Seller AMP, as you can see some of its tools right here, allows you to do a lot of research very easily. If you get the hang of how to use Seller AMP, you could be able to do all this research within mere seconds. So how much is Seller AMP going to cost us? Well, there's a couple different plans that we could use, but I recommend just using the $19 a month one because it gives you 1,000 products per month where you could use, and that's pretty much all we're gonna need if we're using Seller AMP correctly. So to activate it, what we have to do two steps. We have to go to free trial. Once we go to free trial, we're going to go to monthly and we're going to pick the $19 a month one. Sometimes if you're in United States, you might see the United States flag right here. You might want to click that so that way that you get the USD price. So we're going to sign up, and then once you finish checking out, you're going to go to your email and they're going to send you an activation link. Also, when you're filling out your information here, make sure you change it to the correct country. Okay? So now, after we do that, we're gonna log in. When we log into Seller AMP, there's gonna be a bright red thing over here that says for you to install the SES Chrome extension. To do that, you're gonna click on that link that pops up right here. I've already done it, but it's going to be the same name on the Google Chrome Web Store, okay, for the extensions. It's going to be Seller AMP SAS. And it's going to pop up exactly like this. Once you have that activated, what you can do, you can start using the research on different types of category, of different types of products. So before we use Seller AMP, what I want you to do, I want you to activate your Google Sheets. I have already done it and created a buy sheet like this. Okay, this is my SAS buy sheet. This buy sheet is essentially just a Google Sheets that stores all your information of the products that you want to sell, okay? And you've already done the research, you already figured out you're gonna make good profit on it into a continuous list that you could keep uploading to. So we're gonna set it up. I already set mine up. You're gonna activate it by connecting your Google account. If you don't have a Google account and you only use iPhone addresses, what you could do, you could create your Google account for free, and then you could have Google Sheets completely for free and connect it. What we're going to do whenever we have our SAS set up, we're going to go into our settings to activate different settings within Seller AMP, so that way it pops up when we're looking for them, okay? So what I want you to activate in your settings, in the SAS panels, what I want you to go activate is going to be the buy box analytics. The buy box analytics is a very important part if you want to buy products in bulk, okay? The rest of this stuff right here are very useful as well, but all the base level stuff is already activated, okay? So now let's start doing our research with Seller AMP. So when we're doing our research with Seller AMP, we have a couple of different options. We could use the Seller AMP website, or we could use Smart Search on a different website, okay? So let's say, for example, we want to buy a product in bulk. So let's go to Wholesale Central. We're gonna go to Wholesale Central. This is a wholesale distribution network that has a lot of different suppliers that you could source from. So with these suppliers, they're gonna give you, for example, K Wholesale. K Wholesale, they have pretty decent products at a good price. So what you could do, you're going to search for wherever it gives you their inventory for that product, okay? So this is where we could use our SAS buy sheet, or we could use our SAS extension on Google Sheets to be able to do our research with each of these individual products, okay? This is view only, so what we could do, we can make our own copy, okay? And open it up and do our research by being able to right click. So you can see down here in Google Sheets, they give you an option to see within different brands that they sell. Not every company will do that, but they separate it. These are closeouts. These are specified by brands specifically that they have. But that's not too important for us right now. We're gonna go into this closeout section, and then we're gonna take the ASIN. The reason I like being able to see the ASIN is because it's automatically connected with the Amazon. It's already connected with Amazon because the ASIN is the Amazon standard identification number that we could use to connect to find any product on Amazon. Okay, so the first thing that we use in Seller AMP, okay, this is how we actually do our research with the products that we're buying. Okay, so we want to be able to figure out a couple different things before we start doing our research. We want to know where we're buying the product. That's one. So we already have the wholesale supplier and we have the UPC and everything. We want to be able to know how much we're going to buy the product. Okay, but remember, whenever we're buying the product, if we're buying it in bulk, you can see there's something called an MOQ. An MOQ is the minimum order quantity. That's how much you have to order to be able to buy it at that price. So this only makes sense for people that have their LLC set up with a resale certificate, but you can still try to find a couple different retail suppliers that sell in bulk, but they're not really going to sell you at a good price. Okay, so now the first thing that we do with Seller AMP. The first thing that we do with Seller AMP, we're going to go into the quick info tab. We're going to check eligible and alerts. Eligible tells you if you could sell the product or not, and alerts is going to tell you what type of problems might pop up if you try to sell it. Okay, so number one, if we're able to sell the product, this is going to pop up in green. We see that it pops up in yellow right here. That means we have to log in to our Seller AMP with to our Seller Central account with Seller AMP to be able to figure out if we're able to sell the product or not. The other way that we could do this is just copy pasting the ASIN and trying to add it into our Amazon account. After we do that, we could check the alerts panel. The alerts panel, if we hover over one of these, we could see that it has different things that it pops up. Anytime that it's yellow, it's usually not too much of a problem, but every time that it's red, it's really going to be an issue for us. So try not to list anything that has red over here. Green, obviously, nothing to worry about. But we see right here, it says Amazon share buy box. That means that Amazon shares probably a majority of the buy box, but we don't know that just yet. We're going to continue, but we could hover over each of these to see what they mean, and they give you a quick explanation. And there's also another tab within Seller AMP. We could check that later. After that, we could use the BSR. The BSR is basically an arbitrary number that Amazon gives each ASIN to be able to compare it within a list of products. The lower this number is, the better. So you see right here, when we're selling products, a lot of the times with the products that you try to find, they're probably going to be within 1 to 1 million, okay? So anytime that number is lower, the better it is. Sometimes you'll see that it's over 1 million, but don't really stick to those products because they don't really have demand for people to buy them. So we're going to skip that. After that, we're going to check estimated sales. The higher this number is, the better, okay? The max cost, that's just the units that are being sold, right, for the estimated sales. The max cost, don't really worry about that too much, but if we are buying in bulk, as we could see here, this is an example price that we should be able to buy it for, but we don't know that we don't know that just yet. We already do, but for your example, you might not know how much you're buying it. So what we could do, we're going to enter the price that we see that we could buy the product for. And if we don't have an example of how much we could buy the product, we can always use this nice little feature in Seller Amp that allows you to do the research with Google to see if you could find the exact same product, and you could use that as the price that you buy it within Google. But sometimes it's not really helpful, like in this situation. So that's why you can use Seller Amp with exact ASINs that you find in the hands of wholesalers. Okay, so next, we're gonna put in the profit. We're gonna see how much profit we're gonna make on this product. Okay, so we buy it for 1.5. Okay, and we sell it for 860. This is just the example price. We don't know actually how much we're gonna sell it for, but if we keep it like that, we make a $3.78 profit and 250% ROI. These are amazing profit margins for anybody willing to invest. But these all depend on a couple of different things. Before you buy anything in bulk, you should be able to test the product to see how much of those units you'll actually be able to sell off before you go all willy-nilly and spend like $1,000 on something and then they all end up sitting. So you always want to make sure that you test the product before you buy in bulk. Like you see right here, the minimum order quantity 400. We can't buy 400 of something if we haven't tested it. So we're going to scroll down. We're going to see which prices that we could find in the offers. The offers are basically how many people are selling it. What I want you to do whenever you're in offers, you're going to do two quick things. Number one, you're going to check how many people are selling the product, and you're going to see if Amazon is selling the product. Okay, so we can see right here, Amazon is clearly selling the product. Okay, that's number one. That's very important for us to check. And number two, there's only one person selling the product. Okay, so that means a couple different things. It might be that it's private label, in which case we might not want to sell the product, because if something is private label, we don't really want to list it because the brand owner can send us an IP complaint. An IP complaint is basically just the worst thing that could happen to your store, aside from it getting basically deactivated. We don't want to start racking up IP complaints. That's really, really bad for your store. After that, we're going to take a price that we see in the offers and see how much money we're going to make it. You could see right here, if you've already entered a price that you buy the product, the prices that these people list the product, if they were going to buy it for the same price that you put, okay, so if this person bought it for 150, right? If Amazon buys it for $1.50, we could use this profit right here as our profit for this example. Okay, so remember, don't list the product when Amazon is selling it, and always be wary of products that have less than 3 people that are selling the exact same product. Okay, so now we're gonna go to our calculator for a couple seconds. We're gonna check a couple different things. This calculator is very helpful for whenever we're buying a product. Okay, if we are selling the product and if we already tested it, okay, now we're gonna buy in bulk. This is our profit calculator that we could use to do our research very, very quickly. Number one, we're gonna go into cost price. We already filled that out upstairs. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna choose our we're gonna choose our fulfillment type. This could be FBA, this could be FBM, but I like to keep it FBA. Why is that? Because FBA, the way that it works, it'll basically give you an example for the price, because that's how FBA works. Amazon handles all the shipping and handling, and it charges that as a flat rate for each product. So that's why we could go into our total fees and check what the price of the shipping will be by fulfillment FBA and use that as our shipping fee. Very simple. After that, we could check our profit after everything. This is very, very important for us to check because you might be able to buy something for cheap, but that doesn't mean you make good profit on it. So you always have to make sure that you make decent profit. Even if you're not making like $20, $30 on each product, if you're making 200 or 100 or even 50% ROI on a product, that's a great investment for a lot of people. Next, what you could do, you could type in any discounts or buy one get one free deals that you could get right here. But we don't have that right now. It's just buying in bulk. So let's say if we buy 400 units in quantity, it's going to cost us $600. In total sales, we make $3,440, and in net profit after the fact, after all the shipping and handling, we make 1,500. Okay, so it's very important for us to do all of this math beforehand. Okay, so remember, FBA takes a little bit of time for it to get there. They charge you for the FBA, but after that, it's basically just sitting and waiting for the money to roll in if you've already tested the product. Remember? So now, there's another thing that I want you to be able to do. Okay, within Seller Amp, what you could do is find the graph. The graph is going to tell you basically how the product has developed throughout the time the product has been active. Okay, you can see right here, the first graph gives you all of this cut action. You can see right here, the first graph gives you examples of if Amazon is selling it and different prices that it's been sold for, as well as the sales rank for the product. Okay, these sales rank right here, very not too important right here because we can see the sales rank above, but remember, the lower this green line is, the better. We don't want to see any highlighted orange, so that means when Amazon is selling it, it'll pop up right here. So really, it's really not a great product for us to buy into because it has a rising it used to have a rising BSR. It's getting a little bit lower now, but Amazon is selling it and that price is locked in. We can't do anything about it. After that, what we could do, we could check this other graph right here. There should be a middle graph in the middle of these two, but if you don't see it, it's just going to say the amount of units being sold per month. But right here, we can see the offer count is the important line that we want to check in this third graph. This third graph is essentially just how many people have been selling it for the entirety of the product. Okay, so you can see right here, this product has only been active for a couple years now, but for the entire life of the product, basically Amazon is selling it. So what we could do as a tactic, if we were going to buy in bulk, we could wait until Amazon finished selling all the units for this product, and we could take over the buy box when Amazon finished selling it. That's how you could see a lot of different people start making their money when Amazon finished selling a product. Okay, so that could be a long-term thing that you could do for whenever you're buying in bulk. After this, what we could do, we could save wherever we buy the product. Okay, right here, this is the buy box analytics. We're going to go over that really quickly. It's basically just a pie graph of the people that are selling it and the price that it's been sold for. You can see Amazon.com has 100% of the buy box at 1062. Not very good for us. Okay, and then the entire rest of it, there is no rest of it. It's just Amazon. So not great for us, but just in any case, if we wanted to save the product, we could save it in the lookup details. This usually automatically pops up, but if, for example, we want to physically save it with a different link, like let's say you wanted to have a test link, all right, for when you're buying the product, not really in bulk, but just in retail to see how much of them you could sell. What we could do, we could add the test link as well as the source link of where we're going to buy in bulk, and then we save them. And this is why you created your Google Sheets. We're gonna export it to our Google Sheets, and which I'm gonna show you in a couple minutes, okay? So that's pretty much all you really need to know how to do on Seller Amp, but that's really for people that know which types of products that they're looking for, okay? And they've already done their research, they're already pretty experienced in selling on Amazon. What if you just started out, you don't know what type of products you should look for, you don't have an LLC, you don't have anything just yet, and everything that you're looking for, they don't give you approval to basically do anything? What we could do, we could actually spy with Seller Amp on different sellers that are selling products that we might be able to sell. So how do we do this? Let's take, for example, we go into our history for one of these products, right? We're just gonna give you a random example. What we could do with Seller Amp, this is a very useful tool. We can actually spy on storefronts to see what they're selling, okay? So how do we do that? I just went on selleramp.com to find a product, but basically we're gonna go into our offers and you can see all these sellers right here. We could actually do something very simple. We could actually just click on it and be able to start searching within all the different products that that tiny seller has already been selling, okay? So you can take a look, okay, this seller is able to sell this product, this product, this product. And now all that is left, we just start trying to find the products that we're able to sell within the other sellers, products that they already have listed, okay? So this is very easy to get a grasp of, especially using the tactics that I just showed you. You could use this with Seller Amp and basically just spy on different products that people already have listed. You could do this with big brands, you could do this with small brands. But if you see that there's a bunch of small sellers under a specific type of products and not that many big people, like right here, let's do some research on this big seller right here. It has 2,000 people and it has 600 ASINs. Okay, this is a product that I know that you could buy in bulk from a certain website. I know that specifically, and all of these we can see right here. We know we could find them because if there is demand for people selling a product, that means there's somewhere we could buy the product as well. Okay, so this is very important that we learn how to use Seller Amp like this, because this is the easiest way you can start searching in bulk for products.